A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant ruling on Friday, the conservative-dominated United States Supreme Court has granted President Donald Trump a major victory by allowing his administration to revoke temporary legal protections for more than 500,000 immigrants from Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, and Nicaragua. This ruling comes amidst ongoing legal challenges in lower courts, and it raises serious concerns about the future of these immigrants who were granted humanitarian parole under the previous administration of President Joe Biden. Humanitarian parole was designed to provide temporary legal status to individuals fleeing dire situations in their home countries due to emergencies, violence, and political repression. However, with the Supreme Court's latest decision, these individuals now face the threat of deportation even before a final ruling on the legality of the revocation of their immigration status. The High Court's ruling overturns a lower court's order that had temporarily prevented the Trump administration from rescinding humanitarian parole for these vulnerable populations. The decision was not accompanied by any reasoning and has drawn dissent from two liberal justices, including Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, who expressed concern over the potential devastating consequences for nearly 500,000 non-citizens whose lives could be upended while their legal claims remain unresolved. Justice Jackson highlighted that many of the affected individuals had indicated in court filings that they would face severe harm if their humanitarian parole were terminated. The Trump administration has long sought to limit immigration to the United States and has accused the Biden administration of misusing humanitarian parole, claiming that Biden's policies have led to an invasion of immigrants. Since taking office, Trump has also halted applications for asylum and other forms of immigration relief, further tightening the borders. The plaintiffs in this case warned the Supreme Court that deporting them back to the conditions they fled would expose them to life-threatening risks, persecution, and even death. This ruling follows an earlier decision by the Supreme Court allowing the Trump administration to end Temporary Protected Status, TPS. For approximately 350,000 Venezuelans living in the U.S., TPS is a program that permits non-citizens to remain in the U.S. when their home countries are deemed unsafe. The cumulative effect of these rulings could potentially lead to the deportation of over 800,000 individuals who have legally resided and worked in the United States for years. Justices Jackson and Sonia Sotomayor dissented from the order, with Justice Jackson emphasizing the court's disregard for the serious implications of allowing the government to disrupt the lives of these non-citizens. In a prior ruling, a district judge in Massachusetts had temporarily blocked the Trump administration's efforts to end legal status for over 530,000 individuals under humanitarian parole. The judge noted that ending these protections would force immigrants to choose between leaving the country voluntarily or facing removal proceedings that could lead to their arrest and detention. The legal battles surrounding these immigration policies are part of a broader conflict between the Trump administration and the judiciary over immigration enforcement. The Supreme Court's recent decisions have further emboldened the administration's efforts to dismantle Biden-era immigration policies that provided pathways for legal residency for vulnerable populations. In light of the ongoing crises in the affected countries, Venezuela's economic collapse, Cuba's political repression, Haiti's gang violence, and Nicaragua's instability, many argue that the revocation of these protections could have dire consequences for those forced to return. Critics of the ruling have pointed out that the humanitarian parole program has historically offered refuge to individuals fleeing persecution and violence, and its termination could exacerbate the humanitarian crises in these regions. As the legal landscape continues to evolve, the implications of the Supreme Court's decisions will likely reverberate through the lives of hundreds of thousands of immigrants who are now left in a precarious position, uncertain about their future in the United States. The Trump administration's focus on stricter immigration policies signifies a broader trend of limiting legal avenues for asylum seekers and immigrants, raising questions about the U.S.'s commitment to humanitarian principles and its responsibilities towards those in need of protection. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.